my name's Andrea Warmington.
Hello, my name is Owen Burns.
And welcome to Silo, the podcast about self-discovery and personal growth and what that means to you.
Today we are on episode 59. And how are you doing, Andrea? How's your week going?
Well, we have 3 more days until the election, and I've got to tell you, I am on pins and needles. I really have had some really hard times this whole week trying to leading up to this election. It's really scaring me. One of the things that I've been doing actually is picking up my guitar and teaching myself a few little songs. I'm not a pro. I did take some classes, but the guitar is a really great way to de-stress, calm yourself. Scientists say that, picking up an instrument really allows you to expand your memory, and, it's a really good thing. So that's really where I'm trying to use the instrument to find calm. How about you? What's going on?
Things are good. We have a musical guest today, so I wanted to talk about music. I was in the news last week. Stevie Nicks was on Billboard, she was like the number 12. You know what I mean? And the song Dreams, I mean, you know the song.
Yeah. Fleetwood.
It hit number 12, and it was like, wow, that song came out 40 years ago. This week it's number 21. But I just thought that was the most amazing thing. God bless Stevie Nicks, this woman is 72 years old. I just think it's incredible that people it's like rock till you drop. That's my motto when it comes to, living to whatever your art form is. It's like nobody asked Picasso to put the paintbrush down at 90 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with music. And and thank God for the Rolling Stones they're still doing it. I love that. Anyway.
I love it. I love that TikTok was the one that kind of brought it back into the world. And it's just like we're using all these different outlets to really get our artistry out there. So with it, and we should just jump into our guest, yeah?
Yes.
So I love to introduce you, singer, songwriter, musician, mother, and actually she's really new to the music industry. She came in later on in life. Jen Silva, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Great having you, Jen.
Yeah, welcome. Really excited to see you and have you here. I mean, Jen, you came into the music industry later on in your life. I mean, you quit your job. That's a pretty major thing to do.
Well, I look at it and kind of tapping back to what you said about Stevie Nicks, it's a journey. It's a long journey. And I started out, having some experiences as a child in music, but I was not ready for it. And it took some time of living my life to be ready for it, for my confidence to be built. And yeah, I did have a life in the corporate world. I did have those experiences, and I realized how unfulfilled I was and how sad I was not being creative. And I just had to make a decision to pursue a musical life and to sort of step off the path I was on and start on a new path, because I knew it was right. My intuition was telling me this was what I needed to do.
Jen, I can relate to what you're saying, because I actually am blossoming more in the later part of my life because I originally moved to New York to be a musician. You know what I'm saying? Just like you. And then I got caught up in the whole business world also, where you just feel like, right?
I needed to work.
I think you can do it at any age, right?
Right. And I just had a couple of experiences where I saw these doors opening. And also I closed doors that I shouldn't have closed, that were presenting themselves to me. Yeah. And I didn't take them because I was afraid. I was fearful.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's a scary thing to pursue a life in the arts. You don't know where your money's going to come from. You face rejection. You face criticism. And all those things were so heavy. I wasn't ready until I was faced with faced with a life living uncreatively. And it shook me to my bones. I was like, no, I cannot do this. I have to stop. And I have to listen to my heart. And that's exactly what I did. I quit my job and I started playing guitar, and I fell in love with what that was doing to my life. I would play for 3 hours a day, every day. I mean, I couldn't stop. It was unbelievable. It was just such an incredibly fulfilling period of time in my life. And I just knew that was it. The music was out, and it was time to just build my assets and build my skills and take risks and take those doors that were presenting themselves to.
So we had spoken to you before, and you mentioned a book that inspired you. Can you talk a little bit about that? Show it to us.
It's this little book, and it's called "If You Don't Know Where You're Going, You'll End Up Somewhere Else." And that's exactly what was happening to me. I was ending up where I didn't really want to be because I wasn't sure. And once I took a moment to just stop and realize, okay, what are you good at doing? What do you like doing? Okay, this is your path. Just don't be afraid. Just do it. And it came at a pivotal time in my life. I had just quit my job. I found it. And actually thinking about it, I think I found it at a church bazaar. And I love church bazaars. This is like, I have to stop and go to any church bazaar I see. And I found it there, I think in the free bin. And it kind of set me, it opened my eyes. It was the perfect time.
Well, whatever, inspires you to make a major change in your life, I think that's a great thing. I mean, I've had certain things also that have completely altered the course of my life, so I totally relate to what you're saying.
I mean, that's the whole point, is like, say yes.
Yes. And I think it's and I think that saying yes to it, I mean, we started this podcast out of passion, and a lot of people say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but they never really do it. So I really admire that your courage, because it takes a lot to say, I mean, not only are you you're new to the music industry, but you're a mother, and you have kids under 10, and I mean, being a musician in this world, it takes a lot of being out on the road and really being away from your family. So, and I knew
that I was going to have to sacrifice certain things, and that's why I have to do it in my own way. I mean, I'm pursuing it fully, but still being there for my family. I mean, it's a balance. It's hard. I have to make sacrifices, but it is what it is. I'm still recording music. I'm still writing music. I'm teaching voice. I'm doing everything that I need to do to have a life in music.
Right.
And
but where you're
incorporate a tour in small ways to start. I will happen. It's just, I've got to go like the right.
What were your first steps though, with getting into, building blocks of getting this career off the ground?
It was just like, okay, this is it. I need to work with somebody else, because while I was learning guitar, I was not an expert at guitar. Right. And I had all this music and all this vocal ability. And I partnered with someone that I met on Craigslist, and we were in a band together for many years. And I built that confidence playing in New York City, small bars, small clubs. And after that, I ended up, it fizzled out after a few years. And then I partnered up with a DJ that I happened to meet. And we put out an EP. I put it out independently, but we made these 4 songs. It was a little outside my genre, but it was still my music, my voice, my lyrics, telling my stories. And I learned so much. I learned how to record a record in my closet. I shut the door behind me, and I had my computer. I was like, you insulating the sound. And I just learned. I had to buy so many microphones and mic shields and all these pop filters, all these things that I didn't know about. And I learned to do it.
But question though, I mean, there's one thing about learning music, but how do you know what your genre is? I mean, in listening
to the process.
Yeah, because I mean,
your voice.
Because when I listened to Blue is Sky, one of your LPs, your genre goes from
sort
of acoustic folk to rock.
I mean,
you're doing a lot. You're covering a lot of genre.
Yeah. How do you will yourself to know that this is me?
Do you think you should streamline it, like, to some degree? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like start narrowing it.
That's part of what's happened now. Like I said, I take every door. I look for the doors and I take them. And I'd rather take a door that seems a little off kilter than not take the door. So that's how it all worked. And I feel like the commonality is in the lyrical content and the vocals. Okay. So the genre to me doesn't matter. I love all types of music. I could sing any type of music. So many influences, from the Rolling Stones and Stevie Nicks to Erykah Badu to Dolly Parton. I mean, I love everybody. So I take from all of these amazing musicians and this inspiration. And I just write my stories, and that's what I do. And sometimes it falls into a more acoustic folk place, and sometimes it's in a rock and roll sort of way. And it all is with soul. I think everything I do is with soul because of my love of Aretha and my love of this neo soul movement that I got into way back when, and the blues and jazz, like that's a huge part too. So I just keep the commonality in the soul and the lyrics, and along the way I have found my voice, and it's got this darker rock and roll indie rock vibe. My next record is where it is.
Where's your inspiration coming from? Like with your songwriting, what's inspiring you?
Gosh, so many things are inspiring to me, but obviously my relationship, my friends' relationships. I love folklore. I love stories about strong women. I get really inspired by sort of this darkness, like this sort of, one of my songs on Bluest Sky, Darkest Earth, The Convent, that is really sort of when I really found this avenue, this style. It's just, it taps into my upbringing in the Catholic Church, and it has these influences with this sort of gothic darkness that I love, and I'm attracted to those kinds of stories. So, and you can see it in the EP too, with I'll Bring You Back as a song that I can talk about.
Darkness surrounds you. You're not alone, no. I'll bring you back from the shadows, yeah. Let yourself find the light. Don't put up such fight. I'll bring you back from your demons, yeah.
So on my album, Bluest Sky, Darkest Earth, I have a song called The Convent. And that's when I started to see my musical voice take shape. It taps into my upbringing in the Catholic Church, and it embraces sort of darker feelings of the need for vulnerability around me and emotional connection. And I see that carrying through all the songs in my next record, and that's where I'll be.
So tell me about that song. I mean, it really has some deep rooted lyrics that, takes you to this place.
Well, it is clearly inspired by the Catholic Church with this sort of choral, emotional plea to not send me to the convent because I need connection, and it's very easy. I think people put up walls and they won't be vulnerable. They don't allow you to get close to them sometimes when you really need that. You really need connection. And I think that's what we all need, is connection in this world. So the song for me is about sort of being rejected from putting yourself out there and like wanting a connection from somebody. And it's saying, don't send me to the convent. I'm here. I am here. Listen to me. I'm going to bring you some comfort in whatever struggles that you're having.
Wow. Wow.
Right.
Amazing.
Can I just backtrack a little bit about the musicians? Because, honest to God, because I'm a musician, I've looked for musicians in New York, and it's like, how were you able to find all these musicians? Because whenever I would come across musicians, they always wanted to be paid. Everybody wanted to be paid. So how did you deal with that?
I work with. I pay every single person I work with. Yeah. I am an employer. I want a good guitar player. I pay for a good guitar player. I take it very seriously. I found everybody in different ways. My bass player, Lim, happens to be my daughter's piano teacher. She came in, I was like, oh my God, I love her style. I love everything about her. And I asked her, and she's like, I actually play bass. And I'm like, what? She's an amazing jazz bassist. And she joined the band. I found some on Craigslist. I found some just people putting posts up that they're looking for bands. And I just listened to her. I interviewed a lot of people.
So it's not difficult. I mean, because I think that musicians, it's almost like you have to kind of meld. They have to have your vibe, So,
Absolutely.
I mean, was that difficult to do, or was it something that you could just, it was an easy thing? I know that, and you...
easy to get along with, to be honest with you. So I don't come with ego. I hate people who come with ego. I don't have any of that. I just want to be friends. I want to be connected, and I want to make music together. And I interviewed them all. We met one-on-one. We played a few things together, did a cover together to see if I liked their energy. And I loved all of their energies. It was unbelievable. And they all get along great. I'm so lucky. I got so lucky. My band is amazing. Even my producer's like, you have an amazing band. Like, I can't. Wow. They're all incredibly talented. They're all professional and cool. I mean, it's a blessing, really.
So should we go to the next song?
Sure. The next song that I wanted to showcase was a song from my EP called I'll Bring You Back. And again, it's a dance electronica vibe, but the lyrics are darker and they're searching for connection. I was inspired at the time because my husband would get these night terrors. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced having a night terror or sleeping next to somebody who had a night terror, but they're frightening.
Wow,
It's really intense. And I remember at that time just being inspired by wanting to help him through that. And you know, you've got to be vulnerable. You've got to like let somebody in. And again, it's that idea of connection.
So let's listen. Let's listen to. I'm excited.
Okay.
You're as beautiful as the stained glass. Let's light some candles, and we'll make this communion holy. And I'll come out dressed in black.
It gives me the chills. It's really, really deep. It's really, really mysterious. It's like, wow, you know, good for you.
Yeah. It's kind of heavy, but like with the dance part, you just don't even realize how heavy it is, you know? And I just loved doing that. When I partnered with him, this DJ Syzygy, he just opened my eyes to a new thing. And I was having so much fun doing it and learning so much along the way. It was incredible. And I love the songs. Like, they're outside my genre, but I love those songs. And
but how do you shift from one genre to another? Because you really shifted from, you know, from the Covent girl to the, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see the commonality personally, but I know, I get it that they seem different, but to me they seem similar because of content and vocals and the songwriting. I don't think of it in that way.
Right.
Wow. Amazing.
It's just been the journey. It's the journey. It's finding my voice through the journey, and the things that worked stayed, and the things that didn't work fell away. And then I think this next record is going to be really amazing. I'm super excited.
So you're self-producing and yourself. It's not like you're signed with a.
I'm not signed. No, I'm an independent artist, but I'm working with an incredible producer and engineer, Reed Black of Vinegar Hill Sound. He's worked with Karen O from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and Questlove and Imagine Dragons and so many amazing, Solange, her amazing record, A Seat at the Table. Like, you know, he's done a lot, and it's an amazing studio, and I'm super excited. This is my second record with him. I did Blue Sky.
So how do you make money from it?
Shows, merch, my voice lessons. You know, that's sort of how I'm making my living. But so it's a little hard right now with COVID, no shows.
Right. I mean, because, you know, with Spotify, supposedly artists don't make that much money.
I mean, it's minimal. For me, it's minimal. You got to get on playlists, which I'm on a few, luckily.
Yeah.
But always looking to get on more playlists.
Right.
And you know, you just keep plugging along.
Playing live is really where the money's at too.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's your goal? Because I mean, we are now in COVID, so I know there's a lot of things that are holed up right now. But what's your goal? Do you have something that you want to reach to?
Gosh, goals for me, you know, it's hard to put a end on this. Like, I want to achieve a Grammy, or I want to, you know, those kinds of bigger sort of pipe dream ideas. I don't really hang on to that. I would love to have a song licensed. I would love to continue to put out records. I want to still build with my band and maybe write with them. Right now, I write the songs and I bring them to the band, and we work and bring them to life
Do you
together.
have an agent? Do you have an agent?
I don't have an agent.
I was just wondering if you.
Speak with different random people, but it never seems right.
I was
It
just
doesn't
wondering
seem.
if you had considered, Broadway or going that route at all.
Someone else actually
At some
mentioned
point.
to me. I haven't really. I want to do rock and roll. I don't want to, but I do have a background from my
Yeah.
high school and college years where I was pursuing acting and things like that. So maybe down the road, if an opportunity presents itself, I will not say no. I will tell you that right now.
Like it would be a
I
good.
don't say no anymore. I say yes. But it's not a goal of mine. It's not, it's not a specific
Right.
plan for me. I want to keep making records. I want to keep putting on shows. I want to keep writing songs. And like I said, my only main goal is really trying to get my music licensed. I would love to be in a commercial or a movie or a TV show. That's where I really consider myself.
But we have to wrap. You wanted us to mention a non-for-profit that we love our listeners. Tell us about that.
Just a little. It's called SaveOurStages.com, and they're really working to get Congress to pass legislation so that we can help our small venues, especially that are right now paused. And we don't want them to close. We want them to be there when this is all over and we can get right back to business and get right back to making music on stages across this country, across the world. So SaveOurStages.com, please check it out. See if you can donate and help, because people need assistance right now. You're in the arts.
Well, thank you so much. We will definitely have that on our show notes, and we're definitely going to have jensilva.com and your LP, all of the information in our podcast, the show notes, and iTunes, so that people can come listen to you and support support SaveOurStages.com.
Yeah. Thank you so much, you guys. Appreciate you having me.
Here, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Horizon and put your disguise on.
Wow, she's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got a lot of energy.
She does. I love her range. I mean, she goes from folk to this rocker, and I think that she's going to do well. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why I got this feeling that I could see her at some point in her life later down the line doing something on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I got this feeling, but it seems like she would be great with that.
Yeah. I mean, you
doing what she's doing, you know what I mean? This is her passion right now. She needs to do that, but I think she could consider at some point, that possibility.
Yeah, because I think that she's got this amazing character about her. So it's her voice and her persona, and all of that just really makes for an amazing Broadway singer.
Yeah.
But I think that she's definitely a rock star in my books. I mean, really. I mean, as a musician, it's not easy out there. It's bloody hard.
No, and she has the energy to really do it, which is great. That's an important part. She has the passion. She has the energy. There's no limits with what she can do. So.
I think that it's pretty inspiring for me. I mean, she taught herself guitar, and she's in singing, and she teaches singing to students. I think that, it's very inspiring. I'll definitely I'm not going to be Jen Silva, but I'm definitely going to be rocking my guitar.
I'm still doing it too. I'm still putting those songs out. I don't know if they'll ever go anywhere, but I've got a following in Buenos Aires and in Mexico, so they seem to like me there.
Well, I'm excited for our next guest, but I'm excited that we had
we have another position coming up.
Yeah.
So please, that's on the whole other end of the spectrum. That'll be interesting to hear about.
Yeah. I think that it's definitely interesting to see how people really push themselves out of their comfort zone, because to be a musician, it takes a lot of courage, doesn't it?
It does. You know, getting up on stage all alone, like that's what I did, you know, and it was tough. I got to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that go wrong that, you know, did I tell you the story of this girl that came up behind me and just I was in the middle of a song and she just threw her arms around me and completely, I stopped the song. And she's going, and she was really drunk. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, and then her friend comes up to apologize and she says, oh, I'm really sorry for my friend. She's really drunk. And I go, yeah, but like, you guys, I'm kind of in the middle of something here.
You're on the bloody stage for crying out loud.
Like, just gotta get off the stage, okay? And then, oh, we're so sorry, you know. But it was just kind of like one of those moments, those unpredictable moments as a musician, where it's just like, oh my God, you can't make these stories up.
Yeah, but I admire you because you go out there. If it's a packed stage, if it's not a packed stage. I mean, who can do that? You really have to go out there with just like a coat of armor.
Yeah, and sometimes nobody in the audience. That happened, yeah. I think the last time where there was nobody there, and I was like, and I have to perform as though it's like a packed crowd, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, and you have to perform as, you got, I admire you. Yeah, I admire you because
I don't know when I'll be getting back to it anytime soon. Right? I mean, but so that's why I'm focusing on recording right now, and I'm loving it, you know.
But it's a different energy, you know, when you're with people and when you're doing these virtual concerts and on your own. I think you have to, do you thrive off of the energy from the crowd? Or do you think, okay,
yeah, when there's a lot of people there and whatever, but it's hard to muster up the energy to feel inspired when nobody's there, you know?
Yeah. You
can hear people talking in the back of the bar and the drinks clinking and whatever. And I'm just like, oh God, so can I just finish up my time here and get off the stage? But, you know, you got to roll with the punches with all this stuff. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that was good. I really enjoyed listening to Jen's story.
Me too. All right. I guess we should wrap it up.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
And vote.
Yes. Everybody vote, please. Oh my God. Our lives are at stake.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye.